always wanted to ride on film. For some reason, that was just something I've always wanted to do. And I don't even think I read past page 10. I was like, yep, I'm done. And I picked the motorcycle, and then I got this discussion with the producer, what kind of bike it was going to be, and then the director found out that I really ride, and so he's like, great, okay, in this shot, go down there, no, way down there. So like, we would start the shot on the bike like 2.5 miles away. And of course, they always use the last 15 feet because they're so used to like rolling an actor up on a motorcycle. There's like 2 guys holding the bike up and rolling them into position. But the director knew that I ride, so he's like, he would have me, he wanted these long riding sequences, and of course they cut them all out. But I read it. It is what it is. It's one of those fun, campy films that it shot, over a few weeks in the summer up in Vancouver, and I was like, yeah, why not? And they're fun, and sometimes they resonate like Sharknado. I'm in part 2, 3, and 6. I'm going to take a break. 4 and 5. The effects are special. I think there was one in the New York Stone where the Golden Gate Bridge collapses, and you can literally see like little toys go, toy truck and the little puff of fake smoke. It reminds me of those movies in the 50s. Remember, like where the spaceship would be going on a string and the smoke would go straight up and fly by. I just think there's some kind of cool campiness to that, and I think they have a place and a home. They don't profess to be major blockbusters. They are what they are, and they're kind of fun to make. And I had a lot of fun doing it. Like I said, I got a ride, and I don't know if I'll do another one, but it was fun. It was fun.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet.
They are very, very fun to watch.
Yeah, they are. Right?
Hello.
Oh, man. See you later. Go ahead.
Your character interacted with a lot of other characters, as did everyone else on Battlestar. But who would you say you would have liked to work with more, and who would have liked to see Anders interact with?
I don't think I ever got to speak one word to Gaius Baltar. And James and I are good friends, and to know James, you're in the presence of, there's some sort of genius going on there. That man has got some level of talent that is very rare. So I would have loved to have more screen time, or have any screen time, or at least to have some sort of interaction with James's character, with Gaius. Just so I could have said, I stood in the presence of greatness. I just think he's phenomenal on that show. And I regret that we never got him to do anything. You're very welcome. So I take it. Am I over 3 minutes? 3 minutes? 3 minutes. There's a question that looks like a 3-minute question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How, as far as reading your lines and filming, how much liberty did you get as far as improvising things, or did you have to kind of stick to what was written?
Generally, she asked about reading, the lines and the improvisation and how much leeway. It always depends on the genre. In comedy, you get a lot more leverage. They give you a lot more rope in comedy because, sometimes there's great comedy to be made going off the page. But the writing was so good on Battlestar that you didn't have to go off the page. They weren't so strict that they kept us letter perfect, word perfect. There are some television series and some particular writers who are adamant that every single syllable be uttered exactly the way it is on paper. And, look, man, not everybody is William Shakespeare. There's very few people that command that. I can't say you in general, I always try to make it my own. I try to make the dialogue seem realistic and come off in a realistic manner as much as the conversation you and I are having right now. So I don't want it to feel scripted. But I don't want to give the impression that people are just going around willy-nilly just making up lines, because that never really happens. we got leeway in the way we could deliver the lines, and sometimes you weren't letter perfect, you weren't word perfect, and the script supervisor knew, okay, if that's the way you're going to say this line, that's, if you change, inverted, put this word before that one, or there was a list of, they would let it go. If you started veering too far from the script, or you were off point, they'd stop and go, you missed a key line here, for example. But when the writing is good, you don't even think about it. You commit it to memory, and you say what's on the page. And I always tend to make it my own, just in a naturalized way. But I don't ever feel like I have the green light to go off and start writing my own dialogue. You can have discussions, and we did on Battlestar. If you felt something was really sticking in your craw, and it just didn't make sense, you talk to the director would come in, maybe the writer who was on set, you'd get a discussion, you would work, and talk together. First of all, you always talk together acting during the scene with, because, it's a give and take, it's a two-way street. You don't want to go changing your dialogue without consulting with them first. So we would agree, this scene is working, or this just doesn't make any sense, and then the writer would go, hold on a second, and we would refer to 3 episodes before, and yeah, you're right, let's change it to this, and then with the writer's permission, with the producer's permission, sometimes they would have to call Ron in LA, because, would have to go back to the top, and they say, hey, by the way, we're going to change this, and you go, oh, okay, that's cool. Or, hold on a second, I'll get back to you, and then 10 minutes later, Ron would have figured out the changes, and you just trust it to come from them. So, we never just went off the page for no apparent reason, but they were always open to dialogue. But we always went through the proper channels. That was a really long answer, sorry.
Good, last one.
All right, last one.
Those will be a quick 3-part then. What do you look for in a script when you read now, like in terms of characters in the show, or for roles you're looking to pick up?
I look for character flaws. I look for vulnerability. In that, I look for something against the convention. I get cast in a lot of, heroes, which are great. And sometimes I force myself to play the villain. And I did one in Revenge, and I did one in Law and Order SVU. I played some serial rapist, which was just horrible.
Yep.
But those characters fascinate me because they are inherently flawed. But the best villains are the ones who don't think they're villains. A real villain is somebody who does evil doesn't think it's evil. They've got justification for it. So that's always interesting to me. And for a heroic role or for a leading man role, I like to see the chink in the armor. I like to see the man behind the curtain. I like to see maybe when after he does this great heroic act, the handshake or the holy shit or the sweat on the brow. And I like to see that there's some level inside there that it's not easy. Or that there's a level of fear to the fearless. So when I see a character that has some sort of just even if hint of a character flaw or something that could be construed as a flaw, it's something we could explore later. That's interesting to me, and then I'm like, this is good. I don't like to paint just black and white. I like the big broad strokes, and I like there to be something that when I read the script, there's something in there that I feel like we can build on this. There's a history, there's a path, there's a secret. That's always really interesting to me. The character's got a secret because there's stakes, and you want to keep up this persona. But if somebody ever found out what I really like on the inside, as opposed to the front that this character puts up, that's interesting to me.
And what kind of fight do you have?
I got 4. I have too many. There's kind of like, like some people like shoes, and I like motorcycles. I have a Ducati. I have 2 Harley Davidsons. I actually had 5, but I gave one to my friend JR. I had a 76 Honda CB750. I have a 97 Dyna Wide Glide, a 2008 Nightster. I got the Ducati Paul Smart, and my first bike was a 81 Suzuki 450 GSL. GLS, I think it was, for cruiser sound.
Thank you.
That's cool. There will be more. All right, guys, I think I have to go, right? I think I'm taking up somebody's time. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.